You're watching Good Boy. You're watching Good Boy. Fighting just to save our lives. Got you laughing every night.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back. And I don't know what to plant in this farm,
Everything, right?
but we don't have that many things.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I got some wheat, but
Yeah, I guess you need to make a section
carrots?
for everything. Well, I don't know about carrot. Well, we might as well grow it all, right?
yeah, I mean, I would think we can get a little section for it all. I just still need to get the other things, especially the beetroot.
Why that?
I don't know, because it's the most pointless thing ever.
Are there points
far-
for the new stuff?
I don't know. I don't know a purpose to the beetroot at all, off the top of my head.
Huh. Okay.
So there could be a purpose. I just don't know what it is.
Right.
Maybe it's for like parrot taming or something.
I wonder how you tame a parrot.
Isn't it? Didn't it used to be with cookies, and then
I don't know.
they got in trouble and
They got-
changed it to something
Oh, because
else?
cookies could hurt them or something.
Yeah, something about like the chocolate or something weird that it was bad, and now it's something else. I just don't remember what that something else is.
How do you make the? I need to know how to make a thing go away.
Oh, in that case, I don't know what you're talking about.
Whenever you hit E, you look at yourself. On the left hand side, there's that whole like section on. Let me tell you how to make stuff.
Yeah.
How do
You
I
want it
make
gone?
that? Yeah,
I don't know if you can,
it's not. It wasn't there when I first started playing.
because you didn't have anything.
Well, this is stupid. I don't want to look at this shit. Oh, there it is. The little green book. You click the little green book, it goes away.
Yeah, the green book, dude. Of course. It's the green
Why
book.
didn't you tell me that when I asked?
I was just seeing how long it was going to take you to figure it out.
Let's see. You know, I got some dark wood last time, and I don't know what happened to the saplings. I thought I planted them, but I don't see them anywhere, and the barn is that color, so I'm having a real hard time right now.
You don't want them to be
What?
that color, or you want them to be that color?
I need wood, and I don't know what happened to the saplings for the trees I chopped down, so I can't get more of that wood because we don't have any of those trees around here.
Are the saplings? They're not in one of the chests anywhere.
No, I just found where I planted them. So
Oh, so problem averted.
yeah, problem solved.
Crisis solved. Gotcha.
So I went to the movies tonight. And tonight's not what I want to talk about though. Just wanted to start with those words. You know how they always tell you to cut off.
What else did you do today, Guude?
You know they always tell
Eat
you.
some lunch?
I did. Yeah, I had tuna sandwich. What'd you have for lunch?
Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday?
Taco Tuesday.
Is that like a work thing?
Yeah, it's my favorite day at work.
Is that at the nursing department?
It's the hospital. It's
Yeah,
the hospital.
That's the word. That's the word I really wanted, but it didn't. Could think
I
of
mean, you technically could call the hospital the nursing department because
They're the most
run the
important
show
people.
there. Exactly.
No one would ever get like seen first without the nurse, right? So the doctor could never get to them.
That's true.
Yeah.
Absolutely true. But anyways, go on. You were saying something else before I rudely interrupted.
So you know how at the movies they always tell you to cut off your cell phones and be respectful to others and all that other jazz, about respect and not to shine your lights into their faces
and jazz and
yeah, jazz hands at the end of the movie to show that you enjoyed it. That's how they know that you did. They're looking for the jazz hands. You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So, like a week ago, or 2 weeks ago, recently, went and saw a kids movie, Leap, and this woman comes in with her two daughters. I guess they're her daughters. She comes in with two children that are female, maybe related, don't know. And So it's one of those movie theaters where you get like a menu and you can order food and all those sort of things. You can order like some pizza, hamburgers, that sort of stuff. And so she's immediately so here's the first thing too. It's a movie theater. We talked about this before, where you select your seat online before you even get there, so you know where you're going to be sitting before you get there. And the first thing that took me off guard whenever she came in is the little girls were like standing there down the aisle looking around at all the seats, and she's like, anywhere y'all want. And I was like, bull fucking shit, anywhere y'all want. That's not how this works. It's not any of this works. But didn't really say anything. It didn't matter. So she come and sat right beside me. And she kept saying she wanted to be in the center, and they just didn't want it. She wanted to be in between the two little girls, but one of the little girls wanted to be in the center. So one ends up right beside me. Meanwhile, this theater was practically empty, so there was plenty of places that they could have sat.
You mean like beside you, like literally the seat next to you?
Yes, literally the seat next to me. Her armrests and my armrests were friends.
Okay.
And so, I mean, already I'm like, what the fuck? There's a whole theater here. But the little girls decided. It wasn't the woman. So whatever. And she immediately starts asking me questions, this woman. Like, how does this work? And I wanted to be like, well, for one thing, you got an assigned seat. But I didn't say that. Because, I mean, they selected that seat at the start. So they should have known that. Like, they had to do that. But anyways. Oh, man, I miss this creeper. So I explained to her how she orders the food. There's like a little button at the bottom of your chair you press, and then the waiter comes or waitress comes and gets your order and whatnot. You want to sleep?
Sure. Hold on, I gotta come all the way back. Probably is a good idea though. I am kind of out in the open here.
Yeah, I tried to light up the area a little bit, but it was pretty dark. So yeah, I explained to her how it all worked and everything, and she ordered a bunch of food. Like they ordered more food than you can imagine for like two little. I guess the girls, I would guess they're like somewhere between 8 and 10. But they ordered.
Movie theater food's not cheap.
No, and no, it's not. Like like tonight I had a burger and it was like $16. It wasn't even a good burger. But
I've never been to a theater that had more than just like popcorn.
There's one near Raleigh that has the fanciest fucking food. I mean, like chef prepared, exquisite meals. I've only been once though. I would really like to go more often because it's just too far away. But it has the real deal when it comes to dining. In a movie theater. This place actually was better. It was first a Regal theater, and then they sold to AMC like a month after opening. I guess AMC bought a bunch of Regal theaters, and then they changed the menu right after doing that. And the new menu is kind of ass compared to what it used to be. But what can you do? Anyways, so this woman, she asked me all these questions, and she orders all her food, the whole menu. And they get their food, and everything's okay. I'm trying to I'm so used to mod it. I was trying to like pick this wheat without breaking the seeds.
Doesn't work that way.
No, it
Put down some crop sticks. Mutate it.
Right. Get that 10-10-10. And so when the food arrives, the movie's already started at this point. She starts taking pictures with the flash on.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Like she'd
This is
never
something-
seen food before. It's not even like that fantastic food. She got nachos, is what the woman had. She has some fucking nachos. And she's over here beside me taking pictures of the nachos. And I'm
This
trying.
is something I've never heard in my life.
Oh, I know. It doesn't get any better. The story just continues, and it get worse as it goes. And so she starts taking selfies with the two. I'm assuming at this point they're kidnapped because I can't figure out any other reason why she had to take selfies with them, like in the middle of the movie.
And why they were holding that newspaper in front of them, making sure the
Right,
date
right.
was shown. Like, it was crazy.
So at some point, after she's taken all these pictures and she's finally stopped, she gets up and goes to the bathroom. And when she comes back, she stops at the bottom of all of the seats and starts taking pictures with the flash on of these kids. Like, everyone in the whole fucking theater is getting blinded by this woman's flash at the bottom of all the seats. Just snap, snap, snap. She took like 6 pictures. It's just the craziest fucking thing I've ever seen in a movie theater.
Now, you said it was pretty empty. Did anybody else like look at her like, what the hell? Or
I'm
were they,
sure
like,
everyone
ignoring?
in there was looking at this woman like, "What is wrong with you, psychopath?" But I mean, I didn't have eyes on anyone else to know that they were giving her the hateful eyes.
That is, I I thought you were just gonna get into like her kids were rowdy and disruptive, and she like
No,
didn't
kids
really
were fine.
care and blah blah blah. But I have never heard of somebody who was taking selfies at a theater.
I couldn't believe she was taking pictures of the food. Like the food isn't like it didn't anything to phone home about. It's just
She's probably a Yelp reviewer. Dude.
I don't know. Like I don't. I felt I don't know, man. I felt like she must not get to see these kids very often or something. Like I felt bad for her in a way because it was like, man, why is this such a special day? You're seeing it wasn't even that great of a movie. It was Leap. It was like a French film that got translated to English. It wasn't even that great. It was okay.
I'm trying to think. I've never had that terrible of a movie experience. I've definitely been to the theaters before where some people were being a little bit loud and disruptive for a little bit, but it never progressed into anything that really distracted me from the movie too much.
Right. I think this is the first time. I cannot ever think of another occasion where it's been like this.
Well, and it makes me wonder, just somebody who has that mindset and mentality that's okay. Like, is that really her mindset and mentality? Like, did she walk out of there going, "That I acted exactly like you're supposed to"?
Right. Yeah.
In a theater.
I can't imagine being that person. Right. Like, how do you function like that? Yeah. I was thinking the same thing the whole time. I was just like in shock with this woman.
I mean, I definitely experience people who, on a regular basis, will not understand social cues of when to leave a situation
Well, that's
or
like
when
every
to not.
convention, basically.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I mean, I understand that a little bit more because it's like younger people. I'm talking about, grown ass adults,
Right.
Professional working class adults who stop you in the middle of a hallway, and you can even tell them like 5 times, "Okay, look, I gotta run. I'm late to a meeting," and they're like, "Oh yeah, of course. But anyways, real quick," and then they just like keep on going as if the conversation is supposed to continue. I deal with that all the time. And I can't say all the time. I deal with that on a relatively frequent basis, and I always walk away and wonder, like, did they really think that was like acceptable? Do they not realize they? Oh God! Oh no! My OCD is gonna get to me now. I did this wrong. Do they not realize that this is completely not what I was looking for at this moment? So I deal with those type of situations, but I've never. Yeah, movies and having a camera with a flash is a new one to me. I have heard of such things to even know that that's like a possibility.
Yeah, it was her phone, of course, so it wasn't like she pulled out like a Polaroid. But I mean,
a big tripod.
Right. I mean, it wouldn't have been that far fetched for how she was behaving.
Girls, get in front of the screen. Get in front of the screen. Let's get
right.
the main actors.
Yeah.
I mean,
She
that
was
would
still
actually
sitting there whenever I left. Maybe that did happen after we walked out.
She was just waiting for everybody to go, and then
Yeah, that was too much.
And then like you're walking out or something like that. Are you crossing like her path of taking a picture, and she'd look at you and be like, "Do you not see what's going on here? Have some
Excuse
respect."
me.
It's funny because I do feel, and I kind of feel bad in a way, but not that upset with this lady, only because I really think that she didn't think she was doing anything wrong.
Had to have been. Because there's no way you could just do that and not like look at me and go like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and give some excuse or something, right?
Well, one would think, except for what I always bring it back to is when I drive a car on a daily basis, People have no qualms about being the biggest assholes in the world. And I don't even mean like that asshole and they think that you can't see them or know who they are. Like people just fly up next to you and like flick you off for no reason because they want to.
Like a guy's crossing in the crosswalk and some crazy man yells, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Yes, we definitely had that multiple times.
I was talking about when you yelled at that. You weren't yelling. You were yelling at the person behind you or something, but it sounded like you were yelling at the cross.
Oh God! Oh my God! Oh, it's again a couple weeks ago. I don't think I told you this. I was literally driving on one of the busy streets. Like I drove you on this street to go up to when we went to Costco to get stuff when you were out here for New Year's.
Yeah.
So one of the busy main roads that's like 4 lanes wide, and I ended up getting stuck behind this guy who was, I don't know why he was driving so slow and kept like slamming on his brakes, but you could tell it wasn't like to try to get me. It was just he didn't know what he was doing and was confused at the lanes. And I felt bad, but at the same time, I kept trying to go around him. And when I would try to go around him, I'd realize that the lane I need to be in is the one that I'm in because the other one's going to end. So I'm not going to be that asshole that just tries to fly around somebody to sneak in at the very last second.
Right.
I was like, man, how did I get glowstone dust on me? But it's because I killed a witch. Yeah, it took me a minute to realize like where that came from. But so I'm going up and I'm getting frustrated, but I'm kind of keeping my cool as much as possible with it, except I was running late to something. And then finally, I was getting so frustrated up near the intersection because he was slowing down in such a way where we actually didn't make a light cycle because he just stopped. Like right when the light turned yellow, it's almost like a screeching halt on the brakes when we easily should have just like gone on through. People swerved around us to go through the light. I mean, that's how we should have gone through the light. So now I'm stuck behind this guy and I'm a little bit frustrated. And finally the light turns green and I shit you not, this guy starts to go and then just stops right in the middle of the intersection. And I am losing it at this point, and I start laying on the horn, and I'm not a big horn user in my vehicle, but I will when I have to, and I start laying on the horn, and because I'm so mad at how the hell am I ever going to get to where I'm going with this guy that keeps doing this, and cars around us on both lanes around us, we're in a middle lane, are just flying on through the intersection like it's nothing, and I'm getting so mad, and then all the cars stop at one time because this guy was the only guy who happened to see this ambulance trying to cross with his lights and siren on. And right when I saw the ambulance come into view, because it was stuck behind all the other cars, so I couldn't see it. And in DC, no offense, but you hear ambulances all the time. So just because you hear one does not mean it's anywhere around where you're at.
You probably get to the point where you don't even hear it as much too, right?
Yeah. I mean, especially in my house, like they're so loud within the house that it's I'm immune to it as well as being at the fire station. I'm immune to it from that as well. But I felt so bad because the only time I started finally laying on my horn because I was so frustrated was like a legitimate. This guy's the only guy who actually saw this ambulance and started heeding way to it, which triggered everybody else to heed way to it as well. Finally. But I'm like, oh my God, I am sitting here laying on my horn for the guy who's actually letting the ambulance through this busy intersection. Like, that's siren. Like what an asshole I am. But I as bad as I felt, he had done so many other things that I should have
right.
Get him for, so I didn't feel too bad because he obviously still didn't know what he was doing. But yeah, that was one of those situations where I was like, oh, God. And the sad thing is I will sometimes carry those things with me for a little bit. And I went home and I was like, God, I'm such an asshole. I'm such an asshole. Like, I wonder if that guy thinks I'm the biggest asshole in the world right now.
He's recording his YouTube video right now talking about you.
Oh, it's probably recorded. He's probably got like a rear dash cam or something of me. He's like, look at this guy trying to run into me when all I'm trying to do is follow the law and let the ambulance through. Definitely have those situations occasionally, not as often as the other situations where people just don't know what the hell they're doing. But I do find, like, back to the whole social construct thing, I don't know why people get in a car and for the most part find it completely acceptable to just be an asshole and cut people off because they need to get to where they're going, when that's clearly not something that's acceptable in a standard social situation.
Right.
And I don't get it. And I'm sure part of it is they think there's anonymity, whereas I'm not stuck in line next to you for you to start like yelling at me necessarily. Like sometimes, yeah, obviously that does happen. You are next to those people who, will pull up and start yelling at you at the light or whatever, but it's only going to last a couple of minutes. You're not like in line at a door or sitting next to at a movie theater, with somebody for the duration of an entire film. In the wrong seats and
I've seen too many YouTube videos where the guy pulls up beside someone, starts yelling, and they pull a gun out.
Yeah, and I mean that is something that is always a concern as well. Is those types of things do happen, sadly, and I don't want to be part of that either. I will tell you though, there is a social situation, not really a social situation, a situation I am mad at myself for. I was walking down the street, like there's a place that we like to get food from that's literally walking distance from my house. I think we ate there as well. We got takeout from there as well. So I ordered it a couple days ago, and I was walking down to get it, and it's like 8:30 at night, so it was dark. So it's not like the middle of the day and everybody's out walking. It's nighttime. There's less people walking on the street, and there's a guy who crossed the street kind of in front of my house and up onto the sidewalk as it was walking in the same direction, about 10 or so steps in front of me. And he was drinking a bottle of some juice of some type and literally finishes the juice and just turned and threw the bottle into the middle of the street.
What the fuck?
And I was like shocked by what I just saw. Like, right. I'm like walking and looking at him, and I'm looking at the street and looking at him and looking at the street going, did I really just witness that?
Did it break and shit?
No, it was a plastic bottle, so it wasn't like a glass bottle.
Well, still like, what the fuck?
But we were he was like 15 steps from the intersection that has a trash can on it.
Oh, Jesus, even worse.
And I'm pissed at myself because I didn't say a goddamn thing.
Yeah. You could have got
under
shot
my
then.
breath. Under my breath, I was so like, "What the fuck? This guy needs to know that this is unacceptable. Like, this is my neighborhood. Like, this is basically in front of my house. Like, this guy has no right to do this. Let's keep this place looking nice. It's like it's where I live. I don't want my neighborhood to go to shit because some asshole just wants to throw shit in the middle of the street because he doesn't feel like carrying it 10 more steps." And I didn't say a word. And part of it was I was trying to rationalize in my head that, well, by the time I realized it, what really happened, it was like coming into a joke punchline late. You can't laugh 20 seconds after the fact. You gotta, either you got it or you didn't. You don't want to commit at the end and pretend that you just figured it out type of deal. But really, it was because I was like, for some reason, nervous about like, if I just start yelling at this guy in the street, what is his reaction going to be to me? Like, it's one of those things that like runs through my mind of, is this worth it or not? And in my mind, I said no, but I really think it would have been.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he would have really just been like, oh, yell at me about throwing that. Here's my gun to your face, and boom, you're dead. The odds of that
I mean, you chased a man down and demanded things back. I'm so surprised you didn't yell at this guy.
But this guy didn't do anything like specifically to me. He just did something dickish to the neighborhood, so it was a little bit, I guess, different mindset that I had about it. I don't know why. I really wish I had said something to him. I'm really mad at myself for not saying something to him. And it probably would have been a much better story because I really want to know what would his reaction have been. Because obviously he feels that that's an acceptable thing to do. Right. He had no qualms knowing that there was people walking on the street, including myself a few steps behind him, blatantly littering into the middle of the street for no reason. He had no qualms about it.
I remember there was a time whenever I was younger and I would be driving to work or something and I'd have like some trash in my car and I just thought it was okay to throw this trash out the window. And I can't imagine doing that now.
Yep. I will admit that I've done the same thing and I could not imagine doing that now either. Though it's funny, as a former smoker, you don't think twice about throwing your cigarette.
That shit pisses me off. Every time I see a YouTube video where the motorcycle guy picks up someone's cigarette and throws it back in their window, just makes me so happy.
Yeah, and well, now that I'm no longer a smoker, I'm like, what? Why did I think that was fine? I guess it was just socially it was accepted. Nobody ever like said anything to you,
right?
about it, so I just socially thought it was okay when it clearly is not. But yeah, that's definitely one of those weird situations where I'm sure anybody who is a smoker who's watching this video is probably going. Actually, everybody who's going to comment on this is going to be like, "I'm a smoker and I've never thrown it out the
Right.
window."
I would never. How could you have done?
Just like I did a video once talking about. I was talking about eating something in the car, and I can't remember what I was talking about. It was something messy that I was eating and trying to eat while still driving. And all the comments were, I can't believe that you eat in the car. Like, that is so unsafe. And everybody was talking about how they've never eaten in the car before because they need to make sure that they completely concentrate on the road. And I'm like, this is bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, I don't eat in my new car just because I don't want to get crumbs and stuff. But, I mean, that's the only reason. I don't believe it's because I'm going to wreck.
Yeah, I basically lived out of my car for so long when I was taking, working 2 jobs and taking classes full time when I was, younger. I was in there, weren't online classes. They were all like in-person classes.
Right.
I was basically in my car for longer than I was home for sure. So I would eat on the way to class and stuff constantly.
So speaking of litter, this weekend my daughter and I went to the beach, and she's like Little Miss Captain Planet or something. Like if there's litter, she gets real upset about it and pitches a fit and like takes it to the trash. And we were down by the water, and this man, he wasn't like littering. Like they were eating like a snack out of like some kind of like a little chip bag or something. I think it was like mini Oreos. But the wind picks up and like after he'd finished it and like kind of blows it down into the water. And my daughter like pitches a fit, picks it up and goes and hands it to him. She's like, "You should not throw your trash around." I was like, okay.
Well, I wish she was around when this guy was in front of me. Because
Right. Oh no. Yeah. She would have fucking got shot probably. She'd have let him know.
Well, no, but the thing is, nobody's really going to look at a little kid and be like,
right.
Oh,
Right.
they're gonna, and that's one of the things. That's one thing I love about like having a baby. And this it sounds so terrible. One of the things I love about having a baby, not the baby itself, but it's the perks that I get from the baby. But we went to like a festival over the weekend, and I had the baby strapped to my chest. And people more like will let you get away with things and move in front of them and go places because they're like, oh, what a cute baby.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day when someone was holding the door for me, and it was like, if I didn't have a child, this door would not be being held for me right now.
It'd probably be slammed in my face over and over again.
Oh man. Well,
I'm walking away again, trying to find another village.
If you find a desert, I want a lot of sand. So let me know if you find a desert because I need glass. But we're also out of time, so we should cut it off here. Come back.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.